Hello everyone. Today we'll be looking at a new concept in C++, that is operator overloading. So you guys must be wondering what is operator overloading. First of all, let's look at what are operators. So there are different types of operators. With respect to they can be operators, they operate upon different operands. So the requirement for an operator to work efficiently is the number of operands. There can be one operand, two operands, or one operand, two operands, or three operands. So the value depends upon the type of operator you are using and the particular use case of your operator. So in this particular use case topic, we are going to see what exactly is operator overloading. So you might be wondering what is overloading. How does an operator get overloaded? So does it mean we are giving it too many tasks so that it's getting overloaded? In a sense, yes. So ideally, we expect that and one operator must be corresponding to only one operation. So that is the underlying logic. But that is one we are trying to understand that it's a one-to-one relation between these two operator and an operation. But if suppose if I'm taking one operator and I'm modifying it in such a way, modifying the code in such a way that it is able to produce different operations in different scenarios, this particular condition is called as operator overloading. So we are going to see an simple example of how operator overloading is working. So ideally, let's take the most basic of the operators, that is the addition operator. In C++, addition operator is used to add two numbers, two integers, two floating point values, etc. And but if you want to add and two objects of the same class, how will we do it? We might be wondering, how can we do that? Objects, even though the objects of the same class, they might be having different values within their private in their variables. So what exactly is going on behind this is what we are going to look at in the next code snippets. So as you can see, I have declared a class complex. This is actually to uh, generate a class that is able to take arguments, that is the real and imaginary part of a complex number, and add and do operations on them. So as a private members of this particular class, we are declaring an integer value real and an integer value imaginary to hold the real and imaginary parts of the complex number. As the public members of the class, we have an constructor. So initially, when declaring an object of the class complex, we are assuming that the initial values are 0 unless and until the user specifies in the program. So the default values for the particular real and imaginary arguments of the complex number is 0 unless the user provides a number for that. So also we are declaring a second function, that is that's the denoting that operator. So what we are telling is that for this particular class complex, operator will take the will assume that if plus operator is used for two class objects of the corresponding class complex, it will add the corresponding real values and corresponding imaginary values and return the resultant object of the class itself. And there is also another print function to print the complex number in the expected representation. So moving ahead, we are going to the main function. In the main function, we are seeing that we are declaring two complex numbers C1 with that is 10 plus pi I, and complex number C2 corresponding to 2 plus 4i. After that, we are declaring a new complex number C3. Since this C3 does not have any values associated with it explicitly given by the user, it is by default assigned the value of zeros. So it is 0 plus 0i. In the next line, in the line number 36, we are able to see that C3 is equal to C1 plus C2, we are trying to introduce an addition operator between two class objects and assigning the resultant value to the C3 object. And finally, we are trying to print uh, the real and the imaginary values stored in the object C3. So let's go ahead and see what is happening, the output of the particular program. Yes, so here we are able to see that the complex number is 12 plus I9. So what do we understand from here is that we are seeing we have till now we have seen that the plus operator will take two integers or two floating point values or in such cases etc, and even take some character values and internally convert to its internal integer equivalent and then do some operations that is with respect to, like, for example, character a plus 27 etc. But we are explicitly, as a user, we are giving overloading this operator with another so that it can optimally work with a particular class. That is, in our case, the class name is complex. So what does this complex have? The complex have two variables, that is real plus uh, just a second, real plus imaginary of j. So this is what is happening. So what do we need ideally is that we are trying to overload the addition operator to add c1 plus c2 and the sorry, c1 plus c2, and the resultant we are storing in another class object c3. C3 will have an if they are taking this is 10 plus 5i and this is 2 plus 4i, and the resultant we are getting it as 12 plus 9i, as evidently seen in the previous code snippet. So that's all for the operator overloading class, and see you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.